Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a slightly different path. Not so much policy or science, but stepping into, well, the darker side of things. Real-life horror and true crime. We've gathered a collection of sources detailing some really terrifying incidents. They all happened in places we usually think of as totally safe, shopping malls, strip centers.
Right, and we're looking at these not just as like shocking stories, but more like case files, trying to understand how these seemingly everyday public spaces can become settings for, well, profound vulnerability, hidden dangers.
Exactly. So our mission today is to unpack these chilling accounts. We've sort of organized them by the type of danger people faced. We'll start behind the scenes, away from the shoppers.
In the employee corridors, it's where the first layer of presumed safety starts to peel back.
Let's dig into that first set of sources then. The danger hidden just behind the storefronts, often rooted in, well, employee relationships and jealousy.
It's interesting how the design of older malls plays into this. Those networks of back hallways for maintenance, deliveries.
Yeah, totally unseen by the public.
Precisely. And they unintentionally create these anonymous spaces, perfect for secret meetings, private dramas.
Secret rendezvous points, basically. Which brings us straight to the story of Becky Morrison. She worked at a video game store and apparently had a boyfriend who was severely jealous, like sit outside the store jealous.
Wow, so intense scrutiny.
Yeah, and to get away from him, she started using those back hallways, taking her breaks back there, meeting people.
Uh-oh, you can see where this might be going.
It ended tragically.
Yeah.
Becky disappeared right before Christmas, and then about a week later, the jealous boyfriend, he vanished too.
So a double disappearance. Police must have been baffled.
Completely. For months, nothing.
Yeah.
Then, I think it was February, workmen were renovating an empty store right next to where Becky worked.
Okay.
It kept smelling something awful. And they eventually found this tiny utility closet, but someone had hidden it really well. Covered the opening with a big piece of plywood.
Oh no, a hidden space.
Inside, they found Becky's body. The Arizona heat had sort of semi-mummified her remains.
That's horrific. And the motive?
Police learned she'd been messing around, is the phrase used, with the guy from the Hallmark store. And they met in that exact empty space during breaks.
So the secrecy enabled by the mall's hidden paths directly led to this.
Right. And the original source teller actually revealed he was the one who told her about the back halls. He'd even been briefly involved with her himself. Imagine carrying that guilt.
Unbelievable. It just collapses that whole idea of safety in a public place when private, dangerous secrets can fester like that.
Yeah.
And the boyfriend.
Still the prime suspect. Never found. Still missing all these years later.
Chillin'.
That kind of hidden conflict eventually spills out into the open, though, like in our next account involving Amy, Neil, and Megan. Pure jealousy again.
This was the American Eagle versus Hot Topic situation.
Yeah, Amy was obsessed with her ex, Neil. His new girlfriend, Megan, was an assistant manager at Hot Topic. Amy started a feud.
How did it escalate?
It started with verbal stuff, confrontation at the food court. Then Amy keyed Megan's car, carved Psycho into the paint.
Okay, so it's getting serious. Physical damage.
It didn't stop there. Amy roped in a friend who actually narrated this source, telling her they were just going to teach Megan a lesson. The plan, she said, was to jump her in the parking lot, put her in the trunk, maybe rough her up a bit.
Just rough her up. The friend agreed to that.
Agreed to a beating, apparently, but explicitly not anything more. But when Megan got to her car that night, Amy just snapped.
It wasn't the plan, she told her friend.
Not at all. Amy pulled a knife, stabbed and slashed Megan over and over right there in the parking lot. Megan died next to her car.
God, and the friend.
Horrified. Testified against Amy immediately, felt completely betrayed. Amy clearly intended murder all along. It's just startling how personal venom can erupt in such a public, busy place.
Absolutely. From hidden corridors to violent public confrontation.
Okay, so now let's shift gears completely. We're moving from that targeted sort of internal violence to dangers in the main public areas. Things caused by like negligence or just tragic accidents.
Right. If the back halls hide individual malice, the big open common areas expose us to different risks, maybe institutional failures or just the problems that come with scale.
This next case, the salmonella outbreak, is a really stark example. A family trip to the mall near Christmas. They ate at an Italian place in the food court.
Okay.
The husband mentioned the food tasted a little funny, but, they were starving, so they mostly ate it.
Oh, that's never a good sign. Tasted funny.
Yeah. The next morning, Violent food poisoning. Hit the husband, the wife, and their daughter. Really bad. The daughter ended up hospitalized for 3 weeks. Some of that time in the ICU, it was incredibly serious.
3 weeks. Wow. Was it just them?
No, that's the terrifying part. The health department investigation found the outbreak affected 36 people, and 11 people died.
11 people died from food court food.
Yes, including 2 elderly people and an 8-year-old girl. They had to take her off life support. Just devastating negligence.
That's almost unbelievable, the scale of it. What happened to the restaurant?
Closed down for good, as you'd expect. But the source talked about the lasting impact on that family. The daughter became a vegan. The whole family just refused to ever eat in that food court again. It shatters your trust, doesn't it?
Completely. Trust in basic public safety, food handling standards, gone in an instant.
Okay, another public space tragedy. This one happened near the mall's movie theater complex.
Right.
Busy Friday night.
Right.
It starts with chaos in the food court. A mother screaming, absolutely frantic, "My daughter, somebody help me."
Oh, every parent's nightmare.
Security, employees, everyone starts looking.
Yeah.
They quickly figure out the little girl, she was only 5, had wandered off from her mom, and somehow she'd gotten out into the parking lot.
The parking lot? Oh no, that's huge. Chaotic.
And the terrible truth came out quickly. A worker returning from break overheard. The little girl had been hit by a car. The driver was apparently cutting through the parking lot, trying to bypass traffic. Police confirmed the driver's claim that the area was just incredibly hard to see in, even with headlights. A blind spot created by the layout.
A tragedy purely born from, what, bad design and the sheer scale of the place?
Seems like it.
Yeah.
The police found no fault with the mother, of course, but the source included a quote from her that just breaks your heart. She said, "My husband says I shouldn't blame myself, but I do and always will."
Awful. That split second of inattention amplified by the environment, leading to lifelong grief.
It really underscores how dangerous those perimeter areas can be. Which leads us to our next section. The parking lot's often the most hazardous zones and even the abandoned structures left behind.
Yeah, the parking lot is that transition zone, isn't it? Between the controlled indoor space and the outside world. Between crowds and isolation, makes it prime territory for opportunistic crime.
Absolutely. Case File 5 is exactly that. An attempted carjacking that ended in murder. A couple returning to their car late at night, a nice BMW M3. The lot was almost empty.
Vulnerable situation.
2 younger guys approach them. At first, they're complimenting the car. Then it gets aggressive, demanding the boyfriend, Brendan, sell it to them. They're just demanding he give them the car.
Just like that. Hand it over.
Yeah. And Brendan, maybe out of disbelief or nervousness, he laughed.
Oh, bad move.
Terrible move. One of the guys pulled a gun. There was a moment, the shooter looked away briefly, and Brendan lunged for the gun. A struggle. A single shot. Brendan was hit. He died right there in his girlfriend's arms. The attackers fled immediately.
Did they take the car?
No, that's the sickening part. They fled without the car they supposedly killed him for. Just senseless violence.
Utterly senseless.
Yeah.
And what happened to the attackers?
This is where the source adds another layer. The shooter got a plea deal, a lesser charge. He's actually scheduled for release next year.
Next year, for killing someone during a robbery.
Yeah, his accomplice served only 5 years. The source really highlighted that outcome as, well, deeply unsatisfying and injustice.
Why do you think that happened? Did the source suggest why the charges were reduced?
The narrative implies the prosecution maybe struggled to prove premeditated murder in that chaotic parking lot setting.
Yeah.
You know, sudden confrontation, a struggle.
Right. And the fact they fled without the car could have maybe helped them argue it was a panicked, accidental shooting during a robbery attempt, not a calculated killing.
Possibly. It feels like the randomness of the public space somehow shielded them from full accountability. It's disturbing.
It really is.
But not all parking lot encounters end that way, thankfully. There's another account. A guy at a Kmart strip mall late at night. He'd just bought a bike for his daughter and had to go back to get it.
Okay.
As he's getting the bike, he feels he's being stalked by 2 men in the lot. They start moving towards him aggressively.
Right. That feeling of being targeted.
He thinks fast. He uses the bike itself. Big, awkward thing, rolls it between the 2 men, buys himself just enough time to dive into his truck.
Smart move. Diversion.
But they were quick. They reached his truck door just as he got in, so he was forced to draw his concealed pistol.
He was armed.
He was. And the sight of the gun was enough. One attacker just threw his hands up, said something like, "Okay, man, not worth getting shot," and they backed off.
Wow. So deterrence worked in that case, a very different outcome from Brendan's story.
Exactly. That moment of decisive self-defense changed everything.
Okay, one last category. The forgotten spaces. The ruins.
Yeah, this one's from 1990. 3 bored kids exploring a huge abandoned mall in Oklahoma. It had closed down a few years earlier.
Exploring an abandoned mall. Classic spooky setup.
Totally. They squeeze past some boards, get inside. It's dark, trashed. They find old sleeping bags, broken stuff in the arcade. Signs of squatters, maybe.
Creepy.
Then they see him, a man, standing in front of the old, dark JCPenney's entrance inside the mall.
Uh-oh. Not another kid then.
Definitely not. He sees them, starts yelling, and just starts running right at them, chasing them.
Terrified, just running at them.
Full tilt. They scramble, terrified, manage to get back out the way they came in.
Okay, safe now.
Here's the weird part. The second they crawl out, they're stopped by police officers. Right there.
Okay, so the police saw the man, or were called.
No. The police never mentioned seeing anyone else. And the man chasing them, he never came out, just vanished back into the ruins. The police didn't seem to know anything about him.
That's deeply unsettling. What happened? Who was he?
They never found out. But later, the narrator heard rumors connecting that specific abandoned penny store to an assault and abduction case from around that time.
Oh, God. So that added this layer of retroactive terror to their childhood memory.
Completely. The narrator mentioned feeling this profound sense of relief years later when the city finally just bulldozed the whole rotten building, like burying a ghost.
It really shows how abandoned structures like that become these voids where real fear and possibly real danger can just exist unseen and unchecked.
So, wrapping this all up, what's the common thread here? These sources seem to confirm that the shopping mall, this icon of consumerism and crowds, it also creates opportunities for, well, fatal secrecy, crime, and just devastating accidents.
Yeah, I think the bigger picture is that our vulnerability isn't just about, some external threat actor. It's often amplified by the very design and scale of these places, the hidden logistics, the anonymity.
Whether it's bad food safety protocols in a massive food court,
or employee corridors that become sites for dangerous secrets.
Or just the sheer confusing scale of a dark parking lot late at night.
Exactly. The environment itself, meant for convenience, can inadvertently contribute to the tragedy. It really challenges that automatic sense of safety we feel in crowded public spaces.
It really does. The danger is sometimes baked into the architecture, hidden in plain sight.
A sobering thought.
Well, thank you for joining us on this unsettling deep dive into the hidden realities of the retail world. We hope it's given you maybe a different perspective on the spaces we all move through.
Yeah, something to think about next time you're at the mall.
We really appreciate you tuning in. If this exploration caught your interest, maybe share it with someone else. Please subscribe so you don't miss our future deep dives. And a review always helps others find the show.
Definitely.
Until next time, stay informed and maybe keep an eye on those corners the crowds don't always reach.